Welcome. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of week 4 exercises. There's some people that had some questions. So first things first, we're looking at the um, Word document, that was attached for week 4 SQL exercises. In this document, I've got 5 tables: TBL suppliers, products, TBL order product, TBL orders, and TBL customers. I've already signed on to the Oracle box, the virtual box that was from the previous weeks. I'm going to sign on to SQL Developer. Now, for clarity's sake, this is SQL Developer. For clarity's sake, I have 2 monitors. I'm going to grab the week 4 exercises and put it on the second on my second monitor. You're not going to be able to see that, but you still have that week 4 exercise. Remember, if you don't have a connection started, I'm gonna get rid of this connection and do it again. You don't have to do this if you already have a connection, but my connection name, I'm going to call it Scott. Username is Scott. Password is Oracle. I'm going to save my password, and then remember the SID is ORCL. I'm going to test, get a success, very good, connect. Now it asks me to build my tables. After this connects, I'm going to close the start page. There we go. Alright, I'm in the Scott schema. Now there's a couple of tables that exist already, but they were there before. We did either that or I created them in test labs already. There's bonus, staging, Evo, staging, OOTN. Don't worry about those tables that already exist. Let's start with the first table, top left, TBL suppliers. Alright, so I'm going to say right click tables, click new table, and this is TBL suppliers. Now, I don't have a lot of information as far as the data model itself. Well, let's take a look to see if that data model um, has a better description than just the column names. www.databasedev.co.uk/customer orders data model HTML. And terrific. It doesn't give me really much of my data types. Okay, I suppose that the point of this is to show you how to do the relationship. So let's go back to Oracle, and I'm gonna pretty much guess at the data type and the size. Um, so first column I'm going to say is LNG supplier ID. LNG supplier ID. That does say it's the LNG does kind of say that it's a number, so I'm going to say it's a number. LNG really stands for long. I'm going to add a column, and I'm going to say str supplier name, and I'm going to call it a varchar 250 to be able to handle 50 characters. Excuse me. Let's go to double click this a bit. There we go. 50. I'm going to add a column and str supplier address street. I'll keep that as 20. I'm gonna call the LNG supplier ID my primary key. Now, imagine you're going to do the rest of the columns. The hard part is not the columns; it's how they're related together. So imagine I'm doing the rest of the columns. Nothing else has to be done in this table. There is going to be a one-to-many between that and TBL products. So for right now, I'm going to give it an OK. And when I give it an OK, the table is going to be created. So let's take a look at, after this OK is complete, my tables. If I hit the refresh button, I should see TBL suppliers, and it's there. Let me create 2 more tables. I'm going to create TBL order product now. TBL link order product. There we go. And first column is going to be LNG order ID. Again, that's going to be a number column. Next column is going to be LNG product ID. That's also going to be a number. I'm going to give one more attribute out of the group, and that's going to be the next one, which is int product quantity. And again, that's LNG, or int is also a number. Okay. Imagine I did the rest of the columns. So far, I'm not going to do the primary key foreign key thing yet, but I am going to call these two out as the primary key because they're both bolded in that example. We'll give that an OK. I do refresh. I should see that out there. Let's do the next table, which is TBL products, and that has LNG product ID, again a number, and str product name. str product name. I'm going to call it Walkthru for 20 and give that a primary key. Give that the LNG product ID as the primary key. Now, I missed something in the products table. Let's refresh. In the products table, I'm going to go back in the design because I do want to put that. There is a there we go. Edit. There we go. I'm going to add a column when this finally comes back. Add a column by clicking the add button. The column I want to add is LNG supplier ID, and that's going to be a number column. So far so good. I give it an OK, and I should see LNG product ID or supplier ID show up as another column. Now, let's try to build the one-to-many relationship between products and suppliers. Let me close this guy. Let me go back into the product table and edit. Now, the product table is the many side of the one-to-many between suppliers and product. In order for me to do the foreign key, I have to start at the many side. The many side has to point back to the one side. So I'm going to click foreign key. I'm going to click add. It's going to automatically name the foreign key. I don't care what the name is. I mean, you wanted something that makes sense, but every object has to have a name, and it sort of auto-generates it. The name is going to be whatever the name is. The reference schema is still going to be Scott. I'm still going to reference the Scott schema. The table I want to reference is TBL suppliers. And it's a drop down, TBL suppliers. The column I want to reference is going to be LNG supplier ID. Oh, I'm sorry. It requires me, in Oracle, it requires me to reference a primary constraint, which is, by the way, LNG supplier ID. See? There's the local column, LNG supplier ID, the reference column, LNG supplier ID. If I give an OK, there is now a foreign key related between products and suppliers. If I go into the table and I go into the constraints of the table, or I go, yeah, there it is, constraints of the table, I see I've got a foreign key constraint. It'll tell me the table, the constraint name automatically. Pretty cool. So if we look at, I'm going to drag the Word document back over. If we look at the Word document, I created some of the columns in this table, some of the columns in this table, some of the columns in this table. I did the foreign key relationship between products and suppliers. Let's go do the foreign key relationship between products and order product. I'll move this back over. Again, we start with the same thing. Let me cancel this nonsense. Come on. There we go. Close this guy. I got to start from the menu side. The menu side is order product, right? So order product. Let me right click and do edit. I go to the foreign key constraints. I add. It comes up with some nonsensical name. Don't worry about the name. The reference is going to be Scott, which is fine. The table I want to reference is table products. The constraint I want to reference is the primary key constraint for products. So it's telling me that the column, the relationship is going to be linked from product ID to product ID. That's correct. I give it an OK. And now order product should have the same constraint. Oop, I don't want to edit. I want to, I want to, let's give it a shot. Edit. If I go to foreign keys, I can see that foreign key is related. The rest of the assignment is pretty much the same thing. So enter in the right columns in each table, build the foreign key relationship. So you should be creating one relationship here, one relationship here. We just did both of those. One relationship here, and one relationship here. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4 foreign keys. If I go back to Oracle, if I look at, I want to see constraints or indexes. I'm not seeing it right off the top of my head. Indexes. Well, the indexes are going to give me my primary key constraints. We know that. Okay. Well, it looks like the constraints are going to be on each table. In SQL Server, there's another object type over here called constraints. But no big deal. We can go into the tables to see the constraints. Sorry about that. I paused it for a second. So there's 5 tables that you have to build. Build it. Create a new table that we use to identify the sales associates that gets credit for the customer order. The attributes in this table are, and so forth. So the sales associate that gets credit for the customer order. There's a table that hangs off of customer order, which is here. Sales associate would be another table in the schema. And the sales associate, let me think about this. The sales associate ID would be a foreign key in the orders table. So you're going to have to add the new table and then add the foreign key pointing to that new table. Third one says create a query to select all the data from customer data. Provide the SQL statement below. All this is just the select star from customer data, or is it from TBL customer data. It's a select star or select each column from TBL customer. Fourth one says create a basic query that will extract all the information from TBL product table. Same thing. You're looking for a query select star from TBL products. Fifth one, you need to provide us find all customers. Okay, here we go. Find all customer orders placed between January 2011 and June 2011. So you're looking for customer orders, right? A join between the customer table and the orders table, and then with those dates, a where clause describing those dates. Create a new query to display all orders. Show the ING order ID, the customer ID, the customer first name. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. I've got orders. It wants information from the orders table. So what you have to do is look at each one of these columns and draw a circle around the tables that you need. So if you need data from here and from here, we've got to build a query that's going to join those two together. If you need something from here, well, you got to join between here, 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 and here. Delete all orders placed before January 2011. Let's take a look. If I delete all orders placed between now and 2011, this is the one-to-many side, one-to-many side. If I delete all orders, I've got to make sure I delete all order products first. Remember, if this has children, the order deletion will delete the children. So the first thing you have to do is delete the orders or the order product and then the orders. Okay, so pretty much the create table part, this part where we're right-clicking the tables and creating each table, that's going to take a bit of time. The drawing the foreign keys by going to edit after the table's built. The easiest way to do this, by the way, is to build all the tables first. In other words, build this table, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then do the foreign key relationships. You can't do the foreign key between here and here until both tables exist. If you try to do the foreign key relationship between here and orders isn't completely done, or at least have the primary key set, it won't work. Very good. I'll post this. Any questions, let me know. Thank you.